Did you know you can build a career helping people heal through activities like sports, art, and music? It's called recreational therapy. My name is Evelina, and today I will introduce you to Himadri, who works as a recreational therapist. Himadri is going to talk about who it helps, how you can get in this career, and any advice she has for anybody who is interested in working in healthcare. Hello, Himadri. Thank you so much for coming today. Can you please introduce yourself, tell our guest about your education, and what led you to this career?
Yeah, thank you. Hi, Evelina.
Mhm.
So, thank you for interviewing me today. So, my name is Himadri Joshi. I'm a certified recreation therapist specialist, CTRS. I work as a recreation therapist currently for people with developmental disabilities in a very specialized program here in British Columbia, Canada. So, we work with people 14 to 64 who have a developmental disability. And so, I work as a recreation therapist, inpatient hospital facility. Um,
Mhm.
so my role as a recreation therapist is to provide an assessment and have goals based on their needs to have my clients live a meaningful life and to increase their quality of life at home. And so I focus on improving the quality of life using recreation and leisure activities that they are currently interested in, might be interested in, want to try, all to improve overall their holistic quality of life, and bring purpose and meaning into their life. So I have been working for 3 years now. I graduated in 2023. So I'm really lucky to work in the profession, but I'm excited to tell you more about it.
Yeah. Let's start with your education background. Tell us a little bit about typical education required for this, career, recreational therapy, and maybe certifications or anything like that.
Yeah, so that's a good question. For a recreation therapist, you have to get a 4-year bachelor's degree. So, um, but you have to be a graduate of the degree program to be a certified recreation therapist. Um, you can also choose an option to do a diploma in recreation therapy. However, it would not allow you to get the certification. So that's a 2-year diploma. That's people who those are people for people who are recreation therapist assistants. They work in different populations, but for getting the certification, you have to take an exam, which is under the National Certification of Therapeutic Recreation Specialists. So it's a very standardized exam that you have to write, and that's our standards of practice that we follow. So yeah, you do have to be a graduate of the degree program, which is a 4-year bachelor program that you can find in your country. So I have only one program that's available around where I live here in around Vancouver, British Columbia. But recreation therapy is prominent across the United States and Canada. So there are many universities that offer the 4-year
Mhm.
degree option.
So it's called bachelor's degree in recreational therapy.
Yes.
Are there any adjacent, maybe bachelor's degrees that are accepted in the field, or just bachelor's degree in recreational therapy?
That's a good question. It is Bachelor of Recreation Therapy. It's a very
Mhm.
specialized degree program. Um,
Mhm.
you may be able to have a bachelor in psychology, but you do have to take specialized courses that are required for the certification to be a recreation therapist. So,
Mhm.
specialized degree that is offered um, to be a recreation therapist. Yeah.
Mhm. What about people who thinking about career change? Is it still available for them? Or, for example, let's imagine there's somebody who is 35-year-old, you're thinking about career change and oh, really likes the recreational therapy. What would your advice would be for this person?
Yeah, that's a good question. In my cohort, in my program, when I studied, I had classmates who were all different ages, coming from
Mhm.
different parts of life. worked in different fields, and they also wanted the career change. So
Mhm.
totally, like at any age, you can pursue recreation therapy. It's also very helpful if you have background in healthcare. So let's
Mhm.
say like I had friends who were nurses, so they went into nursing. They were also in like other parts of healthcare. They were also pursuing like occupation therapy, which was very similar. So
Mhm.
like related kind of fields, they did want to have a career change and they
Mhm.
pursued recreation therapy. So again, if you have like the background in similar healthcare fields, you may be able to just pursue some of those
Mhm.
courses and achieve the degree in recreation therapy, which is not as difficult. And I think the beauty of this field is that there's so many populations in healthcare. I can work with
Mhm.
people in long-term care, mental health. I work currently developmental disabilities, acute care, rehab, stroke
Mhm.
patients. There list kids with cancer patients. Like there's just so many opportunities and populations that you can explore. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm. Got it. Um, so it's not like you can just get a certification, yeah, or you need the actual bachelor's degree, yeah, and then take an exam and get certified, yeah, in this. Okay, got it. And what about you? What originally got you interested in this field?
Yeah, so I always knew I wanted to be in a helping profession.
Mhm.
I pursued marketing and business initially after high school, but I knew that that's not what I wanted to do forever. So I
Mhm.
really wanted to support people and be in a helping profession and bring meaningful change to people's lives. But I had no idea where to go and what I
Mhm.
wanted to do. And so I just came across the degree program and I really was interested in how my field of recreation therapy helps people improve their quality of life in a very hands-on, creative approach. Um, I knew I didn't want to pursue any clinical role with like nursing or
Mhm.
other medical professions, and I didn't want to be on a desk-based role. I wanted to be hands-on, active.
Mhm.
It really blends in creativity, relationship building, um, and rehabilitation to improve people's lives in a very creative role. So I really like that.
Mhm. So you, the way you heard about this program is you looked at the academic catalog, yeah, or of the university. Oh, okay, recreational therapy, yeah. And you said, okay, it
Yeah.
clicks.
So
Mhm.
my local community like college where I studied, so Douglas College offers recreation therapy. So I looked at all the programs
Mhm.
at Douglas and other universities around me when I wanted to pursue more education, and it just came up and I was so
Mhm.
curious to learn more. And then I attended info sessions. I
Mhm.
looked and researched more. I took so many career quizzes. Um, and
Yeah.
recreational therapy, to be honest, is a very relatively newer field than most professions. So there's not much insight and as much out there if you want to learn more. So you really have to research
Mhm.
and so yeah, I did apply for the program. I got in the program. I started my education, and then I started working in long-term care facility with people with dementia. Um,
Mhm.
and I realized how much I loved it, and I loved working with older patients that time, seniors, and they were just so sweet. And I really loved how I fit my personality and interest into some profession, something I didn't even
Mhm.
feel like work to me.
Got it. Um, and okay, I'm very far away from the healthcare, but I'm curious what kind of subject did you take in school? Was it like maybe anatomy or physiology? And do you have to work with like blood or any human, uh, human, I don't know what it's called, but blood or anything that is produced by humans as a recreational therapist?
Yeah, so that's a good question. The coursework itself and the degree. So it depends on the year. So there's 4 years of the bachelor degree. The first, I want to say the 2 years, like that often diploma students also get, is a lot of basic courses. So you'll take biology and anatomy, you'll take psychology courses, um, things related to family development, child development. I was really interested in the beginning, the courses I took in the first few years, and you really get a basis on the body, the psychology, and other concepts, basic recreation therapy principles. Um, and then in my last few years of my education, I want to say third and fourth year, it really focused on the clinical approach as a recreation therapist that you follow. So you follow assessment, planning, implementation, documentation, evaluation. So it's a very clinical role as well. You get to be working with nurses, psychologists, psychiatrists, occupational therapists. So similar clinical roles. So a recreation therapist also has that role. And so
Mhm.
those concepts are also focused very heavily on the clinical approach of a recreation therapist. But yes, you do take those basic courses in the first few years. Nothing crazy, not like nursing, right? Like nursing is quite more advanced course based. Like you have to really know all the functions of the body. But um, I did do biology to a certain extent, so you have to know how those concepts flow into the role of recreation therapy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And regarding the bodily fluids and like all of that, do you have to work with it or like nurses do or not at all?
In my role, no, like my role is
Mm-hmm.
not to like administer medication or to be a part of that or anything. I will have to learn certain things that I need to be mindful of because I want to understand how medications affect um, the body and things like that. But I will never be required to know
Mm-hmm.
those things like a nurse would or like a doctor or psychiatrist, psychologist. Those are very advanced
Mm-hmm.
concepts. But yes, in my courses in my education, we did have to like do dissections or
Mm-hmm.
uh, like really go into anatomy and physiology. Um, but yeah, like nothing like those roles
Mm-hmm.
as a nurse would or other
Okay.
related professions. Yeah.
So it may be a good career choice for somebody who wants to be in healthcare but doesn't want to deal with like bodily fluids, yeah, and all of
Exactly.
this.
That is someone like me. Like I knew that like blood scares me. Like I
Mm-hmm.
feel overwhelmed looking at blood or um I don't know everything about the human body as much as I want.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I wanted to be in healthcare. So yeah, that is very someone like me who wanted to go into
Mm-hmm.
healthcare, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to pursue such a high stressful related role related to blood and
Mm-hmm.
taking care
Yeah.
of one's life and body
Mm-hmm.
and all like that. Yeah.
Got it. Now let's focus on your present. So we talked about your educational, yeah, and the past. Can you tell me about your typical day? What typical tasks are you do at work?
Yes, so I work a standard almost 9 to 5
Mhm.
in my role, so almost 40 hours a week. I start my day with emails, so you're going to be my role is right now I work in a very specialized program. We have 10 beds, so 10 max 10 clients I work with in one day, but these clients I work with have very high needs, very specialized care plans. One of the most challenging behaviors that you'll see. So very
Mhm.
high need clients with all different ages. Like I said, I work with 14 to 64. So I work with each person. So I provide one-on-one assessment. So I work with each person. And my role is to provide engagement, activity engagement, community integration into someone's life. So I work with the client one-on-one. I also do group programming. So I look at what clients work well with each other. I also try to include some recreation group programming. So I plan activities, I plan programs.
Mhm.
I look at the goals of the clients that I work with, and I work towards those goals. So For example, if someone is looking to increase physical activity, they reduce weight, increase their mobility, my goal is to have them engaged in physical activities for 3 to 5 days a week. So we plan um, movement groups. So we do sports and we do walks and we do hikes. And my
Mm-hmm.
goal is to do things, of course, inpatient. So we have an inpatient unit. But my goal is also to take them out in the community. So we practice community integration, whether they're from the local community here where we live or if they're far away. So I work with people all over the province. We do things in the community that are very aligned with what they will do back home, increasing their confidence. So we do those activities. I also document progress. I work with people in my team, so I work in a very multidisciplinary team approach.
Mm-hmm.
So we work together. Like I said, I work with the doctor, psychiatrist, nursing, occupational therapist. We have a social worker, behavioral behavioral analyst. So we all work
Mm-hmm.
together. We have groups as well. We have meetings. So we have care meetings where we talk about the client. So I get to contribute to their care and discussion. And share my observations and my plans with each client. Um, and I adapt programs as well to meet everyone's needs. So
Mm-hmm.
very holistic day. I'm always on my most of the day I'm on my feet. I'm running around. I'm doing things with each client and working with everyone. So it's kind of like
Okay.
a standard day. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I heard you create the plans, yeah, holistic plans for clients, and you also participate in all those activities as well, right?
Yes,
With the client.
I facilitate that and I do it with the clients, role model,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
support. Yeah.
That sounds like a very physically active job, as you
Yeah,
said. Yeah.
it's also physical activity. Of course, movement
Mm-hmm.
is such a big part of someone's mental health, physical health. It
Mm-hmm.
has to do with also cognitive, like what other activities can someone do to increase their cognitive health, emotional wellness. So we do lots of like arts and crafts activities,
Mm-hmm.
um, spiritual activity, spending time in nature, meditation, mindfulness.
Mm-hmm.
So we have so many different domains of your health and um, activity areas. So social activities, physical, emotional, cognitive, spiritual. Those are 5 areas that we focus on.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
over
got it. Yeah, as you said, holistic, yeah. And any challenging part of your job that you would like to share?
I want to say the most challenging part is, of course, with time you adapt, but having um to having to constantly adapt programs based on someone's needs is a lot of a challenge. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to be on the spot. You have to be someone who is very organized. You have to plan. You have to expect the worst. You have to have plan A. You have to have plan B, plan C. So you have to constantly be organized and have things in the back of your mind because you're leading activities. You're not just working with the client. You're working with other people, and people depend on you for the plan, what you're doing, safety plans, making sure things are done successfully and safely. Safety is the most biggest priority for activities because they can be clients can have lots of challenges, physical challenges, of course, mobility. Physical health is a priority. You want someone to participate in activities safely, but also there's lots of mental health problems as well. So we want people to be safe and you want people to
Mm-hmm.
have a good time and focus on their goals. But I want to say you have to be prepared, you have to be organized, and you have to make sure you're also taking care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You can easily burn out, right? If you're taking care of so many people and doing all these things, you can easily burn out, but you have to really work on your own coping strategies
Mm-hmm.
to be well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned you work with clients from the age of 14, yeah? So teenagers to the age of 64, yeah?
Yes, that's my
Okay.
current
Mm-hmm.
population of my program. So it can be youth, it can be young adults, also older adults, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I can see that this job is very people-oriented. It's like a people's job. You always talk to different clients every single day. You can have like 10 clients in one day. Um, do you enjoy working with people, or sometimes people can be very challenging? I mean, is it mental health issues here, or maybe their personalities? How do you like this?
That's a really good question.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I really enjoy talking to people. Personally, I'm more of like a mix of introvert extrovert, so my personality can be so different, but I think I really use my personality really well in my role because I really like working with so many people, but I also have one-on-one sessions, and also I get to have my own time with myself to plan and to catch up on my administrative tasks. But in general, I really love working with people and I love my clients who I work with. Everyone has so many different needs. And once in my role, I feel really privileged because I'm someone who can actually spend time with the client and see their best self and their strengths. Because when we do our activities that we like to do, we're usually so happy and we are using our strengths, right? Like things that make us feel good about ourselves. So I
Mm-hmm.
get to see the best of people and I get to really get to know someone. And in our time with 3 months in that they spend in our program, I get to see the progress. I get to see how their life has changed. I get to even hear about when they go back home after being discharged from the inpatient program that
Mm-hmm.
they are doing these things. First, they didn't leave their house. They would not leave the house at all, and now they're going out so many days of the week. They're doing things in the community. They're getting more confident. They're making more friends. Their
Mm-hmm.
life has changed. So I hear these positive
Yeah.
things, and I really love to see that progress in my clients, and that makes me feel that like my work
Mm-hmm.
is meaningful and I'm making a difference, and I continue that
Mm-hmm.
with each person I work with.
Yeah. Yeah. Very helping profession. And so you mentioned that you can work in the diversity of settings, right? Hospitals, where else? Hospitals, mental health facilities, yeah?
Yeah, so
Mhm.
you can work in long-term care
Mhm.
with people with dementia. You can also work in assisted living and like independent living, also with seniors. You can work in a program like I am where there is mental health, developmental disabilities. You can work in brain like stroke patients, rehabilitation.
Mhm.
Uh, Correctional facilities as well.
Mhm.
It's really like I said, like even hospital. So people who have had cancer, um, recovering patients, kids as well. So there's so many populations that are so vulnerable and need support, and they're
Mhm.
all kind of suffering. They have such low quality of life, and so recreation therapy comes in and really works with different populations to improve their quality of life at any age, so many different
Mhm.
health conditions, right?
Got it. Let's talk about the demand of this career, yeah? Like how well in demand it is, how easy it is to find a job. For example, somebody, yeah, just graduated with a bachelor's degree in recreational therapy or got certified. Is it very competitive? How many jobs, for example, are there? Like in your opinion, was it difficult for you to find a job? And yeah, I'm curious about demand.
Yeah, I think that's such an important question in today's job
Mm,
market, right? Because you can spend 4 years getting a degree and then it's so hard to get a job. But
mm,
healthcare in general is always in demand. So there's so many jobs out there in healthcare and recreation therapy specifically. I want to say all my classmates got a job within a few months of
mm,
graduating. There was no one that was unemployed or struggling to get a job. My story specifically, I was able to work right after I graduated because I was the place I worked at did not have a recreation therapist. They created the job role for me. I was working there as a recreation therapy assistant while I was in school. And right after I graduated, I advocated for a position to be a recreation therapist, and they created the position for me. So I was able to trans convert my role into actually working as a rec therapist with my certification and qualification,
Mhm.
um, instead of finding a new job somewhere else. Because I was working here for so many years, advocating. I think that
Mhm.
it's different in other programs. Of course, like I said, it's a newer field. Where I live here in British Columbia, there are there's so many programs for mental health and other programs. And to be honest, not every place has a recreation therapist. You'll find a social worker, you'll find an occupational therapist, you'll find other clinical members that will support in the program, but you won't see recreation therapy. And so it's still being advocated. We're still our job role is also to advocate for the field and to advocate for more positions. Um, and I do see a difference that there are more jobs out there than before.
Mhm.
I don't know anyone who has not found a job in recreation therapy personally.
Mhm.
There there is so many jobs out there's so many jobs out there, and I think it also has to do with where you are living and how many programs are offered in where you're living. Because if there's only one program offered for recreation therapy, then of course there's more jobs out there in that area. But if there's so many programs for rec therapy, there's going to be more competitiveness, more demand. Um,
Mhm.
so I think it's very prominent in the United States. I've not worked in the United States, so I'm not sure exactly, but there's so many jobs out there in the United States. I could work
Mhm.
probably in every city. Even in Canada, if I moved across Canada, there would be jobs out there for me, and I would probably have been valued my experience, get a job somewhere else in Canada.
Mhm.
It's not a field that's in every country globally, so I could not move to just any country and get a job
Mhm.
because there are no jobs in rec therapy in, like, let's say, Europe or Asia, right? Like, I want to say very limited amount of countries have rec therapy. Australia does,
Mhm.
um, United States, Canada, and maybe
Got
a
it.
few more countries. But yeah, like
Mhm.
but in those countries for sure you would get a job.
Yeah. And are there any maybe specialized websites that you heard of, or is there like a special portal for this kind of jobs, or you can just go to LinkedIn or Indeed uh, and find this job?
Um, I I don't know if there's specialized websites for
Mm-hmm.
recreation therapy positions. Of course, like if you become a recreation therapist, then you can join the association that you're in, the chapter that you're in, and that's where you'll get like job advertisements and postings. Um, but if you go into LinkedIn and search recreation therapist, Indeed, you'll see
Mm-hmm.
your job positions, and you'll see there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
jobs out there.
And the keywords that I can use is recreational therapist, yeah. Anything else, or just this two words?
Yeah, recreation therapist is the most
Mm-hmm.
commonly searched.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a recreation therapy assistant, you can also do that. If you're
Mm-hmm.
having a diploma, um, yeah, those are the main ones for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Got it. Let's talk about I'm gonna ask you one question about skills. We only have like 8 minutes left. One question about skills and about the future of the career. Yeah. So, what skills matter the most for somebody who is starting out in this career? Like, what skills are important, both technical and like soft skills?
Yeah, skills are important in any job role, and for a recreation therapist, you have
Mm-hmm.
to. I always say this to people in my life, like you have to have a certain personality and certain strengths of skills that um bring you to this role. And I think for me, like my strengths align so well with the skills that I use in my job. So I want to say communication is the biggest one. Like you have to be on top of your communication in terms of like communicating with your clients for sure, but you have to work in a team. So have to
Mm-hmm.
you have to be a team player. You have to work with families, caregivers, your coworkers, clients, of course, communication and emails and documentation,
Mhm.
verbal. So a lot of communication involved in my job. Um, Ability to connect. So you have to be person-centered. You cannot just be someone who's not, it's not even outgoing. It's like ability to meet someone that you don't know and also find some way to connect with them, build rapport, build a connection, build a relationship. You have to build therapeutic relationships with each client. You cannot just do something with someone and that's
Yeah.
not going to make a difference, right? So you have to really
Mhm.
emotionally connect with each person and provide empathy, provide
Mhm.
compassion, meet where they're at,
Mhm.
walk with them in the process. Um, and I want to say the last one
Mhm.
is organization. So organization including being very good with time, structure, planning, having lists, things that you need to do. So you have to be
Mhm.
very organized in this role. It cannot be up to your schedule. I mean, it has to be catered to each person and different needs. So you have to be organized. I want to add one more. You have
Mhm.
to constantly adapt. So you have to adapt as a recreation therapist. 99% of the time, the plan does not go according to what you want. So you have
Mhm.
to be constantly adapting to situations and people.
Mhm. What about any technicals, maybe programs you need to know, or you said you document stuff, yeah, but anything technical that a recreational therapist needs to know typically?
Nothing specific in terms of technical skills.
Mhm.
You obviously get your education in some of the documentation that you need to do, but technical skills really are just maybe Excel. You have
Mhm.
to have budget, so you get budgets and you have to do Excel sheets and you have to um be on top of that. You have online systems where you have to document your notes. Um,
Mhm. Got it.
Outside of those skills, yeah, very
Mhm.
more soft skills than technical.
Yeah. Mhm. And I have two last questions for you. So let's talk about the future. Yeah. Let's say somebody is a recreational therapist. What roles can this person often move to, like later? Is there any career progression for this job?
Yeah, so this is something I'm also thinking about into my career.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of career progression, you can have like roles that might be supervisor related, program coordinator, so having um being in charge of different teams. You can also be a practice lead, so having a practice lead for a group of other recreation therapists, so being in charge of like their practice, their what supports they need, so supporting them, and even healthcare management, so being in more management roles, specialization in other areas that can have progress, mental health, rehabilitation, geriatrics, so possibly those areas are areas where you can grow and progress in recreation therapy.
Mm-hmm. What about you? Like, any plans for the future, or you want to stay in the same position?
I think for now, I would like to stay in the same position. I'm really enjoying the work experience, but I think for myself in healthcare, I do want to pursue a master's degree in my future.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, like master's degrees are needed for more
Mm-hmm.
management positions. I think bachelor's degrees are not enough
Mm-hmm.
for growth at this economy and job market. So
Mm-hmm.
personally, I'm exploring more master's
Yeah.
opportunities and what I'm really interested in. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, but I'm
Got
enjoying
it.
this time too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And my last question is going to be, so what are, I know we have only 2 minutes left, so feel free to finish sooner, but top two things you like about this job and top two things you don't like about this job.
So top two things why I love this job.
Mhm.
I really love that I'm using all my skills and passions to make meaningful impact on people's lives. People who are so vulnerable, in need of so much support, they're really just struggling. I get to have an opportunity to serve them and give them more purpose and meaning, and I really appreciate that opportunity and really love doing that.
Mhm.
Um, and I guess strong human connection. I get to be in a position where I can connect with people all over the province and just be in that position where I can do these things with people. I think that's just so cool to explore their strengths and connect with people for who they really are. A really person-centered approach, um,
Mhm.
and disability second. So I really love the person-centered approach.
Mhm.
And dislikes, it can be demanding, so emotionally demanding. I'm very empathetic. Um, Sometimes I take work home if I had a bad day, but you have to take care of yourself. Um,
Mhm.
and I think second is just constantly advocating for this role. It is a smaller field, so it can feel undervalued compared to other healthcare roles because it hasn't been around for as long as other roles. So you have to constantly advocate. Um, but that just means there's more opportunity to do that. So
Mhm. Got
yeah.
it. I forgot. I was meaning to ask you a question in the middle of the interview. What about the pay? Are you satisfied with the pay in this field? Any situation with the compensation?
So you make more money in healthcare and
Mhm.
mental health. I'm sorry, I know it's 1 minute left.
Yeah. So very short.
Yeah,
Yeah.
$40, $50 an hour.
Mhm. Got it. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Himari, for coming today for this interview. I really wish,
Thank you so much for your question.
yeah. Thank you so much for coming, and I wish you a wonderful, continuation of your career.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much,
Yeah,
Lena.
bye-bye.
Thank you. Good luck.
Mm-hmm.